Time to knock out a few reviews here. Belle Collective Season 6, Episode 7, Believe in Miracles. I didn't know this was supposed to be the finale because there was a trailer at the end for next week and it was definitely a reunion trailer. Yeah, because if this was a finale, I'm not sure if we really wrapped up everybody's stories, but we do start off with Cliff and Latrice. Remember she said when she come home, she wanted him to be at home or whatever. Well, she did a reversal sort of thing on him where she came home to the condo and basically telling him like, well, I'm moving in, we moving in. Trying to, well, if I could flip the script on him, then maybe he'll come home type of thing. Um, she does mention how she did talk it out with Latrice at the little trip, but pretty much she kind of over it, and the main focus is their marriage, or should I say her own marriage. So Letitia and Glenn is at home pretty much, talking about the trip. She just got home. She says how Selena gave her an invite to come through to her son's house. And she's gonna go for support, but obviously Latrice is gonna be there. And she does explain to Glenn how her and Latrice did talk it out, but she's still a little weary about where their relationship can go after this. For her, it's just like, well, it's just better if she keep her distance from her at this point. But she is gonna be at Selena's thing, so if she can mind her own business, she can mind hers. And Glenn, of course, he like, still feeling some type of way because he like, I don't know, like me and Cliff was boys and stuff, like, like I just can't believe he ain't had my back, trying to have it in his mind, like, and his wife, he know what his wife do, and he know that she was gonna do this, kind of in his mind. So, but if his wife wanna go, he gonna go on with it, right? And in the confessional, he ended up talking about having some type of surprise for her that he's planning to recommit their relationship, recommit their marriage, renew their vows or whatever, so to speak. And they, talking about the relationship as to, it's going to be a surprise for her, but he is letting her know that, yeah, we're going to work on spending more time with each other and all that type of stuff, reconnecting. Tamara and Damon go to see a friend. He's a finance manager, I think, just to, I guess, try to get her some help to try to get Damon to open up more and talk about what he got going on at work and what's going on at the bank. This guy, he does know Damon, they know each other, so he basically talking to him man to man, just trying to explain, basically to Tamara how, how men do when it comes to monies and stuff like that. It's a little bit more sensitive on their end as to where, it's more of a secret, right? They keep what they got. They ain't got to tell everybody all their business. And that includes the wife or the girlfriend or the baby mama or whatever, They are not married, but Tamara just wants to make sure that he is pretty much gonna be financially secure for their future, mainly their daughter's future, because like I said, they're not married, so who knows what happens in 5 years. They might break up or anything. So girl, you do not need no joint bank account. I don't know why she was thinking that, but girl, I'm thinking the way he acting like he ain't got it like that. That's all I gotta say, girl. Yeah, and that's why he ain't gonna tell you, cause girl. So Glenn goes up to Taste to try to talk to Cliff, cause if Latrice can talk to Letitia or whatever, or vice versa, then why can't they go talk, right? Because technically it ain't got nothing to do with them. It's really the wives, right? Um, or is it? Like, I don't even know. This whole thing, when you really, really get down to it, it is kind of like really why, you know? But um Glenn is thinking, Cliff, you don't set me up. Like, what the heck? You knew that, that's your wife. So obviously, automatically in his mind, like you automatically should know what she was doing, or she told you what she was doing, and you just don't want to tell me. And Cliff, like, I didn't know what she was gonna do. Just cause that's her hairstylist and stuff, don't mean nothing. Like, look, I don't know. And by the way, Amanda, I want to give her a little bit props here for being a hairstylist to Letitia, because Letitia hair always be boop boop on point, girl. I just didn't know that's what your hairstylists look like. I mean, not that Amanda's like a bad looking person, and I'm just saying, I just imagine somebody else. That's all. But you good. Like every time we see Latrice, hair is on point. And Cliff was just trying to say, like, dude, right, like, I didn't know what she was gonna do, all that stuff. And for Cliff, it's like, I mean, shoot, you was the one that was getting all upset, getting all hostile, like you was gonna fight the girl and everything, and all up in her face. And for me, that anger stuff is like guilty, you know. So obviously, I mean, Glenn do know he probably should have handled it a little bit different, but I mean, right? What could have Cliff did if he did not know? Because if you don't know, right, he wasn't gonna do nothing. But had he did know, I'm sure he would have gave you a heads up. Like, I'm sure he would have. So, Glenn just gonna take it as what it is. Like, he still don't believe that Glenn is or that Cliff is telling the truth. He think that Latrice set it all up, and can't nobody change his mind at this point. So he got this renewal thing coming up, and he disinvites Cliff and Latrice. Like, he just wanted to be, just them and their family or whatever, but not no drama and all that stuff. So Cliff like, okay, whatever, do what you gotta do. But call me if you need me. Like, just don't sweat off my back. I'll be alright. So we get to Selena's son's house. Apparently she has not been here since he had died, so it's kind of just basically just been there untouched, everything, no, not even cleaned out or nothing yet, right? But that psychic that they seen when they was on the trip kind of gave her that courage and that push to just, maybe it is time to go ahead, move on. And maybe this could be part of the, one of the first steps, which is letting go of this place. We gotta go clean it up, get rid of his stuff, or keep your stuff, whatever she want to do, and close up shop, get these keys back to these people and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, and be done with it and move on to the next thing in the grieving process. All the ladies were there in support, very, pretty somber, sad moment, a little tear jerker, all prayers to her and her family and things of that nature. Yeah, rest in peace. What's the name? Quincy? Yes. So we're winding down to the end of the episode where Glenn has this renewal plan. It's supposed to be a setup at the park somewhere. He enlisted, I believe, a few of Letitia's co-workers, or I wouldn't say co-workers, but employees, and to assist him, as well as Marie, mom and dad, blah 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 blah. But it looks like nobody's doing anything. He kind of got a little late start on getting himself together. Mom and dad is just kind of just sitting there like, was I supposed to do something? Am I look? Marie on the phone like, boy, the peoples is waiting on you to call them. So why don't you get on the good foot and get some things going, get your stuff together, do. So of course he like, dang, like, what I'm supposed to do, this everything going right, but we still got to move on and try to pull it off, as best as we can. And like I said, I believe this was supposed to be a surprise, right? Because he's still at home trying to make phone calls. Nobody's answering. Mom and dad just sitting there like they don't know what they supposed to be doing. And Letitia pulls up. So she's looking at him like, why is you all dressed up and all this stuff? And he trying to tell her, oh, I need you to get dressed. You know, I got something going on and we're going to go out, you know, da. And of course, she's all in hostile mode because her employees done told her that, yeah, they basically done spoiled the surprise. Talk about they were supposed to do something to help Glenn set up something. You know, you got to get ready for this renewal ceremony. So she's like, renewal ceremony? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. And then you all here dressed up. You telling me to get ready and I don't know what's going on. But then I don't see nothing planned and I don't see nothing organized. And you asking me now to help you get some stuff together for me as a surprise. So like, what? Like, that's not even cool. It's not organized. I ain't feeling this. Like, Glenn, what? I do everything all the time, and this is one thing you're supposed to try to do for me, and you half-assing it. You know how just going off on him basically. So he trying to hold it together as best he can. Yeah, it wasn't wise on his part to enlist her employees to help her out, for one, because I'm sure they had work to do. Two, he probably should have got up early to go out and, you know, set things up and stuff like that. Himself and ABC. You know, mom and dad was just chilling. I know mama did have a few words to say, like, dang, he ain't had nothing ready. And then, I mean, you could have helped him out a little bit too. He probably should have put y'all to work. And Marie, obviously, that's probably the only thing that worked out is because, you know, you need Marie to be there for all them other ladies. But at least she showed up to help out as best she could. But the main thing was, dang, is she going to show up or not? So before Marie and Cedric head out to the park, this is where Cedric took the opportunity to get rid of the mattress that Marie told him to get rid of. If, you know, to move on with their relationship, you've been messing around with all these ladies and getting filthy and all this stuff up in here. So toss that out and we can make a new. So while Glenn is over there at the park trying to set up and get stuff ready, we pan over to Latrice over at Taste. And she's having a little get together for the ladies to try to redo the whole invite to her house party thing, right? A little cute little setting, you know, no hostile stuff. You know, just enjoy. All the ladies show up and they notice, like, well, dang, there's no Marie and there's no Letitia. So where are they? Of course, Latrice tells them that, well, they were invited. Well, the ones who accepted the invite is here. So, but Cliff was actually here with her at the Taste, and he was like, oh, wait a minute. Today is Glenn and Letitia vow renewal, so that's what they doing, you know. It's the same day, and they disinvited us, and I guess he just forgot to let her know. So of course she's like, well, dang, like, nobody told me. You know, obviously you got uninvited, which technically not really uninvited if he didn't even invite you in the first place, right? And we kind of do a little back and forth here between the scenes, because while vows are being said over here at the park with Glenn and Letitia, the ladies are over, and Cliff are talking about, you know, the Glenn and, you know, is this really real? I can't believe she's going through with it. You know, like that whole spiel. Tamara brings up a very good point, because I never really paid attention, but after every little incident that we've had with him, he gives some type of big grand gesture, you know, something to try to win her back over. And it's kind of a pattern at this point. Like, do you think And that was the question, like, how do y'all think he's really gonna change now? We go, like I said, we go back to the park. We see them. I love you. You my girl. I want you to be with me forever. All this, vow renewal stuff. And then over the other side, well, I mean, I don't know. Latrice like a tiger don't change its stripes. And Cliff over there, like, I mean, shoot, I give him 6 months. And I'm like, dude, I ain't gonna say whether he is or he not a changed man or not. Obviously, I don't know him. That's up to Letitia to decide. That's her marriage, if she want to move on or not. But because of the dynamics of the relationship, where technically he's the only man she knows, people like that don't know how to do nothing else, right? So that's where I feel, it's like a stuck situation that she's kind of in. And she just got to get out of it. But I don't think she has should we say, the confidence to do so, But, and dating is hard out here. Shoot, it ain't easy. You see what Marie was doing. She had to go back and get her old man. But either way, like I say, this was a finale. I think, I guess we can close everything up at the reunion when we get to it. And yeah, this was an interesting episode. I enjoyed Miss Carrie for her first season go around. I enjoyed season without So Gucci and JJ. It's a little quiet. I was like, it's quiet. I miss JJ. Gosh darn it. Other than that, I guess we'll catch y'all at the reunion. Thanks for watching. Bye.